Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter tabletop game project every weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, give my honest thoughts on how the project is being ran. And today I'm very excited to be checking out the third most popular project in all of games, and wow! Wowzers, the seventh most popular project in all of Kickstarter. That is Apex Legends, the board game. The officially licensed Apex Legends board game, highly cooperative, competitive, strategic, team versus team miniatures. So looking at the marquee, there's a couple things I like, a couple things I don't like. I do like how they're trying to spotlight the fact that there's going to be 3D terrain, because I think that's a real selling point of this, because I actually have done a good deal of research on this game in advance, because, spoiler alert, I am a massive Apex Legends fan. Like, I've played so many hours of Apex Legends, you would think less of me as a human being and a father if I gave you that full number. That's my game. Like, this is my comfort game. So I do like the fact we're spotlighting the 3D terrain. I do like the fact we're spotlighting it's going to be a miniatures game, and hey, there's Loba. But still, at the end of the day, I feel like we could have zoomed a little bit more on this. We could have, like, I feel like we can get rid of the logo. It's just an... it's not terrible, but I think the main image could be better. Also, player length, time count, age, price, number of minis, all this would be spectacular information to know. Also, what kind of game is it? You just say, it's competitive, it's strategic. Okay. Well, okay. So I'd like to know more image. Oh, and 2 to 4 players. So it is, but it got cut off, and that's the most important piece of information, honestly, that I think is right here. As always, when you go in the video, I'm thinking 3 things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? Wow, they need $244,000. At least they're being upfront about how much they need. Let's go. 227. It looks like a season trailer.
From a world shaken with conflict comes a ruthless blood sport where only the best stand a chance to survive. Do you have what it takes to become a legend? Apex Legends, the board game, is a hero shooter for 2 to 4 players, which brings the thrills and kills of the smash hit.
So immediately, I'm a little bit skeptical, and I said this when I made another video about this. The 2 to 4 player count, that's a really interesting player count for a 60-player battle royale that typically has teams of 3. So at the minimum, I would expect, 3 to 6, but whatever.
Video game?
We're focusing on the minis, and we're trying to seamlessly interweave, images from the video game here. So I do like this. I think this is a nicely done here.
The thrills and kills of the smash hit video game.
And you're showing me these big hunks of plastic that work thematically with the characters. So, for instance, this character has smoke grenades, so that's a smoke grenade. This character has birds that help him out. There's one with a bubble.
The smash hit video game to the tabletop. Designed to make fans of Apex feel right at home.
And honestly, that shot right there alone is oh, this is good. That's really good. It's going to sell this game to a lot of people. This looks like a giant Apex Legends toy, and that's kind of what I imagine a lot of people want. That really is exactly what they want.
The modular system also provides a fascinating and intricate tabletop experience for anyone willing to...
So if there are more terrains that are going to be coming in this package, I would spotlight them here, because while I do love how modular it is, and this is a very common looking building and doors that you'll see in the game, I'd like a little bit more variety there.
Give it a try. With intense tactical team versus team skirmishes and a multitude of available play modes, including versus, solo mode, and co-op, Apex Legends, the board game, follows the philosophy of one rule set to rule them all. The core box includes all the elements required to set up a visually stunning board, with modular buildings.
I like how they're showing that setup. That's a really slick shot.
Walls, and objects, representing well-known locations from the video game. With 4 transparent miniatures representing the ring, the fighting arena is gradually reduced in size, rounding up the legends for the final.
Whoever did this video, kudos. It's probably going to show it at the end, but top-notch video here.
Confrontation.
Because once again, none of these are physical components that they're actually showing us. This is all 3D rendered in the computer, and they're doing, great job.
It's all about the legends, after all. Each one comes to the board game with a dedicated miniature and a personalized diorama, designed to properly display what makes each of them special. The diorama itself serves a practical purpose, providing the players with a convenient means of storing their cards during...
Yeah, I said this when I first saw it, too. I was like, really? That's all this hunk of plastic is? Like, this fancy, elaborate-looking piece of plastic here that's going to cost you, an extra... 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks, presumably, to this game. It's just a card holder. Then you're like, oh, okay.
Play.
Disappointing.
Of any legend, their awe-inspiring powers.
Ooh, now that is a really nice player board. If you're not familiar with Apex Legends, this looks incredibly familiar. Very well done. I love the iconography on all this. This looks great. This gets me excited about the game.
These appear in the game in the form of cards, with some tactical and ultimate abilities represented on the board through the use of miniatures. Hungry
Now those minis look useful.
for loot? Choose an entry point on the board and start off with a bang, but be prepared to face the consequences of your decision. Amass firepower through the use of supply bins spread across the map, and take advantage of a vast array of fully upgradable weapons to take down your enemy with
This is all great. Like, this is scratching that sweet spot right here as an Apex Legends fan. And I have a hard time because normally, like Dead Cells yesterday, I was able to judge it as a non-Dead Cells fan. As an Apex Legends fan, I feel like they're crushing it right now. But I also still feel like they're doing such a good job focusing on a lot of these little gamery-style details that this looks fun as a non-Apex Legends fan as well. And if you're a non-fan, let me know in the comments below what you thought about the video.
deadly efficiency. Need more? The next supply drop might offer just what you need to face your next target and fight to the finish, Apex style, with all the mechanics you know from the video game. Things not going to plan? Death is not the end. Choose a respawn beacon and get back into the action. The Pantheon.
Oh my god, there's so much! So there's the supply minis. So there's the base game. And then this is an expansion, I guess, and then this is another expansion with 3 characters. So there's going to be the base game, 3-character expansion, 3-character expansion, a bunch of unnecessary miniatures that you don't need, but you're totally going to want. The Loba by itself expansion, which they're doing specifically so they could give that away as something to juice up the Kickstarter, because this presumably is probably going to come to retail because of how popular Apex Legends is. And I gotta say, that's one thing that I was concerned about, because this one definitely feels like a, maybe I wait until retail kind of thing. And by showing that box front and center, I love this. I love this right here. I am curious about this box. Is this a standalone expansion, or is this its own separate expansion? So many questions, but I do love the presentation after this 2 minutes. Great video, I do believe.
is awaiting your arrival. Back the project campaign for Apex Legends, the board game now, and get ready to fight for the title of champion.
Ooh, I was cautiously optimistic. Yeah, Hexy, come on. Hexy, top notch. Just top notch stuff. Great job. Anyway, $182,000. It's already raised. It's going to hit its funding goal because this just launched a couple hours ago. So, Glass Cannon Unplugged. Engineering adaptations are Hello to the World Project is a tabletop adaptation of the best-selling Frostpunk by 11-bit Studio, followed by the announcing Dying Light, the board game. So they've done some other stuff. They got a whole bunch of people here in the collaborators. Great, so we should have some good customer service. Frostpunk, I believe, is out, but as always, we want to go check to make sure it's not a flaming dumpster fire in the comments and updates section. New difficulty level, Explorer, official rules video, and a very personal, important note to our backer. How to play video? Oh my, by Paul Grogan. Paul G, love it. Customer support. Shipments of the remaining pre-orders, items for our shop, purchased between June 20. So yeah, it looks like people have gotten their stuff. Let's double check the comments. Hello there. Thanks for taking the time to look over our project. Fantastic video. Good afternoon. At the very start of the campaign, I pre-ordered Russia with the Russian thing. So great customer service one day ago, or the Korean version. So yeah. Can you do it? Looks good, and hopefully they spotlight how highly rated that is on Board Game Geek, if that is in fact a thing that is the truth, because I always like to check that. We'll check that later. I don't know how Glass Cannon Unplugged does it, but this feels like the video game. Each legend is unique and staged to the source. This is the crossover so many have been waiting for, an epic war game experience with unique player characters, without rulers, and too much math. Yeah. It feels like, so I guess they say it feels like the video game. Now, I hope the rest of the quotes are not pretty much saying it feels like the video game as well. Each legend is unique and stays to the source. Yeah, I would expect that. Like, if it wasn't, it'd be really bad. A great team-based skirmish game with intuitive rules and smooth gameplay that is a heck of a lot of fun to play. And the rule book was definitely want to see on this one. The game is one of the most unique combat systems I've ever seen. It's robust, fits the theme, and brings fun and strategy to the game. What an awesome mechanism. Ooh, that's from Tommy V himself. Yeah, Frostpunk is good, Yogi Bear says. How much for the minis that can open supply crates? Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see how they handle their pledge section, their add-ons. So, because presumably there's going to be the base game, then the base game and expansion, and then the all-in. I don't even know. All right, so innovative combat system. Overall, I thought the quotes were solid. Outsmart and outplay your opponents. Compose a squad of legends with their game-changing abilities. Modular design and endless replayability. Add game variants of different terrain to hold the course of 2 to 4 players, 60 minutes, ages 14 plus. Game by these people. If they've done other stuff, I would spotlight that. Is a highly competitive, intensely tactical team versus team with solo co-op and 5 to 6 player matches possible through the use of the expansions. That's one thing I'd love to have on the marquee as well. With an original engine and innovative framework, because let's be quite honest, majority of people, at least 2 to 6 players with some sort of asterisk there, so I get the gist that, I'm going to have to buy an expansion to get it, but I feel like that's pretty common on Kickstarter. Why back now? You get Loba, and Loba comes with a mini and cards. What are the cards? There we go. They do spotlight the cards. 11 medium cards, abilities to cooldown counters, black market, boutique miniature, cool stuff to leave your market on the final product to get the game earlier at a better price. So they're saying, why I need to back it now? And then we get straight to the price. I love that. 80 euros, come on. Convert the currencies for me. Majority of people here from the United States of America. And yeah, 447 to 106. Convert the dollars for me. Just make it easy. It looks lazy when you don't. Bangalore. Cool. So now we're focusing on the components. I'd love to know the exact size of these in inches and centimeters, please. Also these as well. What are the size of these little card holders, as you call them? Also, because they don't look too wide. Like I noticed when there were 3 cards on them, the cards were kind of covering over each other. So I'd like to know a little bit more information about that. But overall, $80, and you're getting a bunch of plastic. Hopefully there's going to be one comprehensive picture at the end, which is going to show me exactly how much plastic there is. We get all the terrain, 15 buildings of different sizes and shapes, 14 walls of different sizes. Why not spotlight all those individually? That'd be nice. 4 trees, the supply bins, the rocks, that's good stuff. 4 yeah, the dimensions would really be helpful here. Inches and centimeters, 57 large cards, weapons, player aid. Zoom in on that. I want to see that player aid. Is it double-sided? That looks like a robust player aid. That's what people want to know. Let me rephrase that. That's what gamers want to know. I feel like Apex Legends fans at this point probably sold. $80 price point doesn't seem terrible when you factor in you're going to get a bunch of plastic. Hopefully there's stretch goals and unlocks. We'll get there. So core rules and match settings. Tell me the number of the number of pages would be delightful, and hopefully there's a link somewhere here. Then we get the full team pledge, so $115. And this one's going to get you up to 2 to 6 players because it's going to include the additions of Lifeline and Pathfinder. Cool. Pathfinder, super powerful right now. Oh my gosh, I love the fact that I can get a zipline whenever I look at a care package. 8 3D board tiles ziplines, which fits with Pathfinder. Okay. Ooh, canyon tiles. Okay, because you have to make a bigger map. Cool. Does it come with extra buildings? No. Okay. Slight disappointment, but still. Then we got the 253. This is going to be everything. No, it's not everything. Because this, it does. So this is really cool. It comes with, this is what the other pledge level is, and here's the big one. What's the price jump here? We're going from $115 to $225. So you got to convince me $120. Wow. So these are 2 full $60 expansions. But that's also because you're lumping in the terrain. So I don't know how else you do it. All right, hopefully there's a big box as well. People are going to want it, but then again, they don't want to do the big box because they're going to have a whole bunch more characters. You don't know how big the big box is going to be until you have all the characters out. So up against the wall on that one. Squad, 1 box with the component trays. We got the caustic. We got the gas traps. Cool. Mirage, Get Bamboozled, my personal favorite. Octane, he's doing some jumpy stuff. We got Revenant. Yeah, this is all just, yeah. This is great. This is what I love to see as an Apex Legends fan. What do I want to see down below? I want to see rule booklet. I want to see gameplay. I want to see the how to play. If you're working with Paul Grogan, presumably there's going to be a gameplay / how to play. Ooh, a play mat. Interesting. So that's also in the Supply Miniatures expansion. That's hot. That makes it way more toy-like. Then we have the card sleeves. No thanks. This pledge is also available with solo and co-op expansion. What? You just kind of dropped that on me? You didn't think that was like... Like, how are you going to not mention the fact that I can play this cooperative on the marquee? You specifically went out of your way to only mention that it's competitive. I guess team versus team kind of implies that. Maybe that's what it is. The cooperative is team versus team. I don't know. I need more. Will this work as a board game?
Everyone.
Blah, blah, blah. This is a preview. I don't care. Get a full on board. Here we go. 3-hour tutorial. Oh. Where's that rule booklet? Where's that rule booklet? When I see a 3-hour tutorial, Oh, that gets me a little concerned. I need to see that rule. Main game features legends. I get it. They're asymmetrical, cool, modular board. I understand all of this. I would like the shipping, and I would like that rule booklet, which you have chosen not to post yet. Preview, don't care. Gameplay modes, training. The training mode demonstrates the rules step by step without the need of having to go through the whole rule booklet before the game. This is the kind of thing I would have spotlighted way earlier. A lot of games have done something of this ilk, just a slow. So essentially, this would probably be your first time playing the game. Like, you'll sit down, you'll get it set up, you'll play this, and then the next time you'll, in theory, be ready to move into one of the other game modes. Deathmatch, Battle Royale, full gameplay experience. 2 teams, one led by Tom, the other by Z. Who's going to win? Full gameplay. Oh, it's only an hour 42. Okay, cool. Didn't you say this is an hour game? Okay. Anyway. I didn't really believe it was an hour game anyway when you said it was an hour game. Like, let's be quite frank. Multiplayer at its finest. Co-op game is a team game centered around the idea of playing cooperative. Each Legends player, yeah, I get it. We know, full team expansion. Here we go. The expansion introduces the option to add a 5th and 6th player to the fray with 2 teams of 3 Legends playing against each other. It also adds new terrain features, canyons and zip lines, and new board setups which fully incorporate them into the gameplay. Cool. Solo? What? Why is this just now mentioned here? Buried all the way at the bottom. Look at the relative position of this on the page, and this is the first time that I believe we've mentioned solo play. That is a needle mover for a lot of people, especially when you have a board game that's going to be highly asymmetrical based on the characters that you put into the game. So hate the positioning of this solo. This is something you pound your chest about. This is something that's on the marquee, letting me know that it could be up to 1 to 6 players. You tell me 2 to 4. No, it's 1 to 6 at the pledge level. The majority of people are going to back, which, by the way, they're from the United States of America, so throw in those dollars. The solo co-op expansion introduces a solo gameplay mode, and which by David Turtzi. God, come on! You just say, oh, you're just going to slide. Why didn't you shrink the text on this while you're at it? David Turtzi is one of the most beloved and prolific solo board game designers on the planet. And it's like, he doesn't even get his name spotlighted. He doesn't get it highlighted. Like, come on, noob. That's a noob move. How does it work for 2 players? So is this the gameplay, full gameplay? Cool.
Hello.
Awesome. Tournament play, going for the gold. So, because once again, that's where games like this can get legs. Tournament play is a modification of the core rules that sometimes, because you could totally see that if this got massively popular, there'd be more and more terrain. And just seeing one of these set up at Gen Con with all the different buildings, and I imagine they could make multiple layer buildings where like all sorts of cool things. Like, as an Apex Legends fan and a board game fan, my mind is just dancing with the possibilities. Here we go. Read the core rules. I'm going to guess 49 pages. 32, that's not bad. Holy guacamole. We got components and setup. Come on. We got the contents, component, setup. That's the setup. Cool. Lots of pictures, illustrations, examples. This looks good. Honestly, this was going to be a deal breaker for me if this didn't look good. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay. I don't know how Glass Cannon Unplugged does it, but this feels like the video game. Each legend is unique and stays to the source. Yeah, great. Oh, no, this is... Okay, I thought they were redoing the quotes once again. No, that's because I actually went to the wrong link. Our goals is stretch goals. And once again, I think once we hit this funding goal, stretch goals need to go way higher. What? I can save things? That's a new feature. Our goal, we ask for your support to turn this ambitious project to reality. Have reached the €225,000 funding goal. We will publish Apex Legends, the board game, and then pursue additional goals to expand the game's content. Is an almost ready and well-tested board game system. Blah, da, 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 the one, the Easter egg thing. Quick and easy contrast paints.
Hey, wipe it and get red like an axe.
Okay, cool. So painting one of the minis, that's nice. That's because once again, I imagine there's going to be a whole bunch of people who are like, I just want to paint these miniatures. Solo and co-op expansion, €20. So yeah, this just feels kind of like it just feels lumped in there. Like, that's a big deal. Supply miniatures expansion, the squad 1 expansion. So this is the add-on section. Okay, production. Ooh, that's a slick shot. That's a real nice shot. Shipping. Here we go. Core box, full team, all in. I love it. There's 3 pledge levels. There should be 3 shipping levels, and they have acquiesced. So let's check out the pledge levels. This one's gonna put Bauer's Law to the test. Because, as I always say, the most popular pledge level will be the one with all the bells, all the whistles, all the fancies, all the doodads, which in this case is €255, presumably, which brings us up around to around $300. It's going to be more than that when we get to the shipping. But I believe that's going to be the most popular pledge level. Let's go. Let's figure it out. So 173 people sitting on the fence at the $1. We have the $80 core level, 117. Yep, and I actually want to make sure that we get the most up to date, because this is a hot Kickstarter right now. All right. So how many people? 122 people at the $80 pledge level. Once again, wasn't expecting that to be the most popular. The full team pledge, which, by the way, also appealing here, but the bottom line is it doesn't have solo or cooperative, which is just an odd choice. And then 128 at this, and then boom, bada boom, the gameplay all in, and we're up to 376 backers. The solo all-in pledge at the 207. And you want to know, I kind of like that. You want to know exactly how much the solo moves the needle? It's right there, 207. Interesting, and cooperative. Okay, so 376 people at the gameplay all in. That's nearly 3-1. Not to mention this is kind of the real all in at 200. So about 500 plus. That's a lot. That's a lot of money there. So $278 plus we got the 36. So we're looking around $320, which is, oh my gosh, it's so much money for one game. But it's Kickstarter. People and ideas, but how much is just the base game? So it's $87 plus the $25. So I'm at $112. Oh, this does not feel like a $112 game. And maybe that's just because you didn't do a great job showcasing to me the size of the miniatures and the size of the plastic bases and the size of all these chunk of plastic, which is just an interesting choice. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a great price. And, you know, I always have the term that I use, Kickstarter reasonable. Does it feel like a Kickstarter reasonable price? When this is rubbing elbows with other stupidly priced Kickstarter games, because obviously if we go to Miniature Market or something like that, then we say, oh, actually, board games are somewhat reasonably priced. But when you're on Kickstarter, they're not. I feel like this is definitely above Kickstarter reasonable. This does not seem like a good price in any way, shape, or form to me. And maybe it's just how it was sold to me. But yeah, chill up. Ugh. What do we got? Okay. So, how much is it? I think that's the biggest negative there so far. What is Kickstarter? Let's see how many new people they got. Is that a question we need to have? 94. Okay, so that's 10%. Not bad. And I love the fact that Kickstarter is still bringing new people in after over a decade. Why do we use crowdfunding? Is this an Apex, an official? How does pending licenses? Blah blah blah. Whatever. Comments. No updates yet. It just launched a couple hours ago. Comments. Will the stretch goal? When will the stretch be announced? Yeah. That's the other thing. I guess you didn't really showcase. I kind of glossed over that. What was the stretch goal section? Because that's really a chance for you to make me feel the value of this game. Because right now, I don't. I don't feel the value in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't seem like a good price at any of the pledge levels. Here we go. Oh, there's a long wall of text in the stretch goal area. My favorite. Apex Legends, the board game, is an almost ready and well-tested board game. New variants and game modes into the game. Should you support extending? So, rules. More rules. More variants that you probably won't play. Cool. Some components can be upgraded and others added in their entirety. Why don't you tease me? Why don't you show me? Why don't you, like, if you don't want to show me exactly what it is, showcase to me with, what is it? Like the black miniature where it's like just the shadow of the fact that, oh, we're getting more minis, or oh, we're getting more boards, or oh, we're getting more terrain, or something like that. Something to get me more excited about the stretch goal area. Because right now, this stretch goal area sucks. Like, it's like, yeah, you might do this, you might do that. Like, I'd love to know more. Some specifics, or at least allude to some specifics. Everyone who's passionate about things knows the following terms by heart: marked for death, infected. You're talking about whatever. You're talking about more game modes. Yippee! A longer rule booklet. They also know what a replicator or heat shield is. So thank you. Now we're talking here. If you don't know the Apex Legends, Replicator, and Heat Shield, those are big deals. That allows you to give a whole new form of gameplay in there, potentially, where you can stay behind the storm, even though they totally buffed the storm this season, jerks. That is why, as we progress, we present you with so-called stretch goals. God, you sound like an 85-year-old man. Oh, those are the so-called stretch goals. We're thinking about them, which will most likely include new play modes, gameplay variants, and so on. I feel like you just redundant me. In fact, yeah, you did, and then here it's even red and bold. Okay, all the necessary news and the progress of the campaign will be posted regularly through its entire course and afterwards, right there on the main page in the update section. Yes, I know how the update section works, Grandpa. The game could only be great with regards to, yeah, man, whatever. Yeah, stretch goal section. It was a great opportunity to get people excited to be a great area, and instead it was not at all. Apologies, this has already been asked, but searching the comments on a phone isn't exactly ideal. Will we be able to buy extra copies of the Loba expansion in the Pledge Manager? I'm sorry to say this, but I must. If I'm getting anything particularly exclusive for this Kickstarter campaign, and no, not just the $10 miniature discount is not exclusive, I think I'll cancel my pledge. I already got burnt with the Frostpunk campaign, where I pre-order it, and the week after the release could be found 20 at 30% off discount. Yeah, because they are definitely up against the retail gun on this one. I'm going to get something really cool that others won't, or I'm just going to wait for the release paying less. And there's the thing, too. Like, yeah, I know the big selling point is supposed to be the fact that I get Loba for free, and it's like, oh, you get Loba for free, but it still doesn't feel like that. It doesn't. Like, and that just once again goes to the price. The how much is it, I think, is the big sticky widget here. Not spotlighting the solo. Yeah. Okay, final grade for this one. Do I want it? Yes, I do. I feel like they did a great job appealing to the fans, even though that's directly tied to your how much is it, and the how much is it is bad. Like it's not Kickstarter reasonable to me. It just feels like a bad price compared to other all-in pledge levels that I check out on a regular basis. And maybe that's just because there's so much cart in front of the horse, because it's not just the one box you're buying, it's the one box, and then there's the other box, and then there's the other box, and then there's the other box, and then there's the box with just terrain and miniatures and whatnot. And that none of that was hyperbolic. In fact, there's another extra box, but that's a smaller box that we're giving to you that just because it says Loba. And then not to mention the stretch goals at all, not to even allude to them. I understand why they're doing it because they haven't hit it yet, but just get me excited, and hopefully this one crushes. But I don't know, that price is scary. That price is high. It just doesn't feel great. And I wonder how much of that price is things that I'm paying for that I don't know about, aka CMON once again striking, because as I mentioned, a lot of board game Kickstarter creators try to run their Kickstarter like CMON. And I understand why. They're massively popular, they make millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars of every time, and so why wouldn't you copy CMON? That's because CMON is CMON for a reason. Love to see more on that stretch goal section and some images, yeah. So I'm curious as to how much I am paying for this game that they know is going to be in the game, but it just hasn't been unlocked yet, and that's icky. But let's just check out the Frostpunk game, because that's the one thing I want to spotlight here. If they did another game, I'm surprised that they didn't spotlight that and how highly rated. Yeah, it's a top 500 strategy game. The number 800 game of all time. Is this the same designer? No, I don't think it is the same designer. I think this is a different designer. Because surely you would tell me if this was actually the designer, because, yeah. But, yeah, our other game's a top 800 game. Like, that's something that I would mention. There's just a lot here where it's like, So do I want it? Yes and no. Can you do it? Yeah, your funding goal is so high. Like, here's the bottom line. If they were asking for, say, $70,000, I would be really skeptical. Because, as I mentioned, they're making tons of boxes. But they're asking for $244,000, which actually sounds like a much more reasonable number. How much is it? It just kills me on there. It just kills me. Even just for the base game, you're still paying $112. Like that's rough. That's rough. And maybe it's just because the component section didn't wow me. Maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's because of that. And I wanted to love this one, but that how much is it? I feel like it really tanks a lot on this one. Especially when they're up against the retail gun. And I know they're trying right now by mentioning this first and foremost, but I didn't feel that value. Final grade. 2 to 4 players cut off from the marquee and not actually true for the pledge level that the majority of people are going to get. Not mentioning the solo game hardly at all and all the way at the end. Not mentioning David Turtsey, who is a prolific and beloved solo game designer. Not mentioning it's just so many things. I'm at a C minus. I'm at a C minus. And let me know I'm very curious to see where other people fall on the grade of this one, because I think I'm judging it a little bit harsher just because Apex Legends is my baby. Like, I love Apex. I'm going to literally I am going to get off this podcast, this stream, and I'm going to play Apex Legends. Like, right after this. Like, I love Apex Legends. And this one, that price. And maybe by the end of this campaign in 21 days, it'll be a different story, but for right now, I think I'm at a C minus. Let me know in the comments below what's your final grade for Apex Legends, the board game. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below, as I'm trying to reach 17,000 subscribers in 2023 to make it my biggest year ever. Bye-bye.